Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
So last week from I record this will be a couple of weeks later by the time you actually hear this episode. But I had a training inside a Facebook community that I created called the Woman Wanting More Experience, or just the Experience for short. And it is a community, it is not coaching. It is a free Facebook group, which, by the way, if you're not in already, go to Facebook right now. Stop this. Go right into Facebook. I know most of you listen on your phone. Go to Facebook. Search bar, Women Wanting More Experience. Request to be added to the group. If you have a Facebook profile picture and you are a woman, you will be added. If you're a dude, fuck off, you're creepy. Okay, so back to the story here. So I had a training inside that, and it's just, the voice has been speaking to me that in 2018 that I really need to create this message with Women Wanting More even stronger, even bigger, that the message that I believe and I know needs to be heard by more women. And so that means I need to come out more, harder, more frequently. You're going to be seeing me. You're going to see me doing a lot of Facebook Lives on Women Wanting More Facebook page. Actually, daily right now with my 100 Days of Gratitude. You're going to see me doing daily Instagram Lives. You're going to see me all over the fucking place. And I realize that the trainings need to bring that same level of intensity to the frequency you're going to see of my messaging, of the content of me out there. And that needs to happen also with this training that I had scheduled. And so the training, which by the way is not there anymore. There's a certain amount of time I've only done a couple trainings within that group. It's not meant as a coaching program at all. It's a community. The purpose was to have a place for women to begin to receive this message of Women Wanting More at a deeper level that are not ready or willing to invest dollars in themselves. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to give something for you, but this is not coaching. This is a community this is for you to see there are other women that are like you. And then the next step from there is something which is called the Sisterhood. And that is a group coaching program, ridiculously low, less than half a Starbucks latte every single day. And that's over at drkarenosborne.com/sisterhood. You can sign up for a 7-day free trial. Best place to start. But for some of you, you're unwilling to do that. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to create something different. So there hasn't been trainings inside the experience. I've done, I think, two over the last, when did I create that? In June, I want to say. I think it was around June. So over 7 months, I've done a couple of them. But this one, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to fucking bring it. Voices tell me intensity. Let's go there. And so I surveyed the women. I said, of all the things that are kind of issues or what you want to hear about or the things that are holding you back, one of the biggest things are the stories. The stories that hold us back. And the stories that often hold us back are ones that are stories we have about ourselves. I'm not enough. I can't do this. I'm not ready. I'm stupid. I'm an idiot. I'm fat. I'm ugly. No one will love me. Recognize any of those messages, sister? Because I know you might be saying them to you. A lot of women do. And I realize that at the core and the essence of this is this lack of forgiveness and love towards yourself. Forgiveness. Forgiving yourself for decisions that you've made that you wish you had done different. Forgiving yourself for not loving you. Forgiving yourself for being so fucking hard on yourself every single day. Forgiving yourself for giving up on the things that mattered. Forgiving yourself. See, I talked to women about this, and this was actually what came up in the training, and what was so powerful is that so many women were so moved by what I'm about to share with you right now in this episode that they were crying, that they were affected like days afterwards. And what they realized most significantly was this. There's a lot of people that they have forgiven in their life. Like, they understand the act. They understand the importance of forgiveness, right? If we constantly harbor anger and resentment and bitterness towards people, who it really damages is us, right? We're the ones. You've heard that quote from, I think it's like Buddha or Confucius, and it's something about holding on to hot coal, and I'm going to paraphrase this really badly, but yeah, holding on to anger. This is it actually in respect to anger, but I'm going to say anger towards people that it kind of have like you felt have wronged you, right? And you have not forgiven. That it's like holding on to hot coals, right? Like you're burning yourself. You're not burning the person. Forgiveness. But what these women said to me is there's a lot of people they've forgiven in their life. They've let go of things, but they have not been able to forgive themselves. And I realized that as I did this training, the voice spoke to me. You got to teach this. You got to teach. And this is something I taught at my last live event. And it was so incredibly powerful that I decided I need to bring this to this particular training. And it is something which is called Ho'oponopono. It is a Hawaiian word, and it was something that was created to really say to yourself, to forgive yourself. And it sounds really at first like, I don't even want to say silly, but it's too simple. It sounds like, oh yeah, I'm just going to kind of say these things, but I'm telling you, sister, what I realized, and the reason the voice was telling me you got to teach Ho'oponopono on this training, is that the stories are thickly embedded in the lack of forgiveness towards yourself and the lack of love you have towards yourself. See, there can be tools and skills and kind of like figuring out the stories and what they mean, what are the gifts and lessons. But if at the foundation you don't fucking love yourself, if at the foundation you beat yourself up every single day inside your head, and or you say it, I'm an idiot, I'm stupid, I can't ever do this, I never, I'm fat, who will love me, I'm an idiot. If that's at the foundation of it, there is no foundation to build anything else. You'll be like homes that are built without any kind of care to the details and to the foundation, and they might look really great on the outside, they might last for a year or so, and then everything starts to fall apart. You are no different, sister. Forgiving yourself, loving yourself, that is absolutely the fucking foundation. It's more so than what you want. It's more so than why it matters. It's more so than committing to taking action. Because if you set all these things up, but at the core, you're like, I'm an idiot. Well, and then you wonder, you go, well, I don't know why I don't do it. I set this stuff up. I said I'm going to do it. I've committed. I've done all this work for the last year. Yeah, because you haven't forgiven yourself and you haven't truly loving yourself. Because if you did, you would do the actions that matter to get you what you want. But the reason it's not going on is because you're sabotaging. Because of your lack of forgiveness, because you do not truly love yourself. So Ho'oponopono is a practice. I mean, you can go ahead and Google it. I'll actually put in the show notes an article that explains about it and the significance. I'm not going to go into it here in the podcast. But just understand, it is powerful fucking work. And it sounds silly, it sounds trite. But you literally say 4 things. 4 things. Okay? So here are the 4 things. You ready? I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. Those 4 phrases. So I'm going to say these again, and I want you to say them with me. And when you're saying them with me, sister, you were saying them towards yourself, not other people, yourself. And you don't have to have anything particularly in mind of what you're forgiving yourself for. Just, we're going to do this twice together. Okay, so I know, even if you're listening to this, you're at the gym, say the fucking words. Who cares? You're out walking the dog, say the words. You're driving your car, say the words. Okay? So here we go. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. Now, when I did this in the live training, and it is a Facebook Live that I did, so I'm not getting interaction outside of comments, right? Text comments. I can't see any women in front of me, clearly. It's not like when I did this at my live event, but it had just as much of an impact, I'm telling you right now. The women that were like commenting going, oh my God, there's like tears running down my face. I didn't realize I was holding on to all this shit. I feel so sad. I realized that I really truly don't love myself. And I thought I did. I've been lying. You have to be honest of where you are in your life right now, sisters. So many of you come to me like, yeah, everything's great. I'm great. Marriage is great. And that might be all good and true, but there's a piece of you inside that kind of knows of, I'm either completely lying or I'm not telling the full truth. Listen, you don't have to go and put everything out on Facebook and vent about but I'm just telling you, it's you and you, right? No one knows but you. And I've had women say to me, like, I don't know if I'm really, like, stretching my outcomes I'm creating, the results I want, the targets I want to hit. Like, how do I know if I'm, like, stretching them? And I said, well, we can go practical and say if they come so easily, well, then you're not. But only you know. I just got interrupted by a phone call, which stopped the recording. So let's come back here. So, yeah, the foundation of this is forgiveness, loving yourself. Like, it needs to happen here. And again, as I was just saying that, only you know this for you. Listen, I have clients that I work with and they're like, dude, everything else on the outside, people think I have this perfect life. I don't fucking have it. I don't. And they've either portrayed it a certain way and like blatantly lied about it, or they've lied by omission, right? They haven't shared the whole and the full truth. And they have this fear of getting found out. People like, oh my God, everything looks from the outside. Look she's like beautiful and she's in shape, and look at her husband, her kids, and look all the lovely pictures on Facebook, but inside they're just like, I fucking hate myself and I drink at night. Forgiveness. Forgiving yourself. And I'm going to also have you consider that it is impossible to forgive others if you don't forgive yourself. You maybe even said that you've forgiven other people. I don't know if I believe you, though. Or the forgiveness that you've had, it's like it's there because you think it's the thing to do, but you don't really feel it. That person still triggers stuff. Things will still come up from what that person did or said, or whatever the thing is you forgive them for. It's not totally clear yet. There's still lingering stuff. There's like strings, right? Everything's not all tied up yet, because the forgiveness has come from a place of like, well, I should just really let this go. You know what? Okay, fine. Like, I forgive you. I'm gonna let it go. But until you fully love yourself, that complete forgiveness towards another person, my belief system, not possible. It's got to come from you. And the forgiveness of yourself, and then the leading towards the loving of yourself, this is what you build everything on. See, this understanding, this is, again, the message of Woman More getting bigger and deeper and more significant as I realize the more women that I work with, the more that I hear back from, the more that I speak this message, the more that I live this message, is that if I didn't fucking fully love myself, none of this shit would happen. None of it. This podcast would not exist. And I literally realized that it took me until about 1.5 years ago, and I'm 48 and a half. So 47 years of my life, it took me to realize that I finally fucking love myself. A lot of deep work. Now, I'm not suggesting it's going to take you 47 years. The purpose of this podcast is for me to share my experiences so you can save time. And for women that say, you know what, I want to do this even faster, like following these more tips is cool, but man, this is taking a long fucking time. Yeah, and it's really hard to do on your own. It's why I created Sister. That's why I run live events. Oh my gosh, women that come through there, power. When they went through this Ho'oponopono, we did it kind of 1.5 times, if you will, like power. Do you want to get there fast? You apply. You apply. This is not called the evolution because, again, the message is evolving, and the live events is an absolute reflection of that. So as we finish up, and I'm going to give you more tip about this in a moment as well, too, and some things to do afterwards. Here's your more tip for today. I want you to practice Ho'oponopono daily for 7 days. You literally say those 4 phrases. Say them once, say them 10 times if you want to. Journal afterwards, don't journal afterwards. But literally just say those 4 phrases. The 4 phrases, which are, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. Or you can do I love you and then thank you. So say that daily for the next week and really see what comes up for you from this experience. So here are 3 things for you to do right now, sister. Number 1, I was talking about the evolution. Here's what I want you to do. Go right now to drkarenosborne.com/theevolution. On the show notes, you can click on the link and that'll bring you right through to a movie. You're going to watch the experience of the last 5 women that have come through this experience in November of 2017. Powerful, like powerful, powerful. And you will have a chance to apply. As I record this podcast, there are 6 seats remaining for the next live event, for the next evolution. And I know there's some of you that you've been hearing this message for a while and it's like, man, there's something calling me to this. I don't know how I'm going to make it happen. I don't even know anything about it, but I know I need to do this. Listen to the voice and follow that. And you're going to click on the apply button, fill out a very short form, and I will connect with you from there. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, if you do not subscribe to this podcast, do that right now. And I would really, truly appreciate and love if you leave a review on iTunes. This allows other women to really see what's this podcast about. And you're going to read some of the reviews. I get some hater reviews. Believe me, they're in there. But we're going to drown it out with love. We're going to drown it out with appreciation. We're going to drown it out with gratitude for those of you that really get something from this podcast. So subscribe and leave a review on iTunes. And the third thing is this. I want you to go over and subscribe to the Women Wanting More newsletter. There's still so many of you that don't get it. You're like, oh, I didn't know about this program. I didn't know about this thing you offer. I didn't know about that training. That's because you're not on the newsletter. It is free. So here's what you need to do. Go to drkarenosborne.com, drkarenosborne.com. Right when you go in, you're going to see my face and you're going to enter in your email. And I will also send you the More For Action Guide, which is a PDF and a quick video training, which really shows you how to start your day in power. So that's over at drkarenosborne.com. So I will talk the next episode, sister. A life of more is just one step away from you doing the fucking work every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosborne.com/newsletter.